Welcome to the podcast, guys. Do you have to be a jerk to succeed in business? Well, the answer to that question is it depends. You have to consider 4 human factors when you have to answer that question. The first human factor is customer, the second, investor, the third, your competitor, and the fourth, your employees. These 4 human factors make up the market. Now, do you have to be a jerk to each and every one of them to succeed? No. Can you be a jerk to one of them and succeed? Yes. Can you be a jerk to all of them but 2? Can you succeed then? Well, we're getting into murky waters. Now let's divide up these 4 human factors and consider them individually. Before we go into the podcast too deep, I'd like to remind everyone that we also have an audio-only podcast available on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and where you get your podcasts. So just subscribe in those platforms and then listen to us. If you're listening to us on YouTube, thank you so much. Let's talk about the customer first. Since I have the experience of working in retail, I do understand that the customer is the most important part of any business. If your customer thinks you're a jerk, your business is going to be hampered exponentially. Exponentially how? One customer will make sure that they will never recommend your business to other customers. And when the subsequent customers, go on and recommending other people to not visit your business, it's going to hamper your business. So customers are the biggest source of income for you. Any person who says, I do not care about the customer, that is a ploy for them. That's a market gimmick. I know there are businesses in America or restaurants where being rude to customers is a big novelty. And in those restaurants where you are rude to your business allies that are customers, what you get is some sort of an experience. So they're selling being rude to customers. So don't get confused about that. So you have to be a nice individual to a customer. You can't be a jerk to customer, especially in the social media age that we are in now. If you're a jerk to a customer, you cannot succeed. So that leaves us 3 human factors: your investors, your competitors, and your employees. Now you must be thinking, how can I be a jerk to an investor and how I can succeed? Well, you can't be a jerk to an investor if your investor is a jerk to you. It's sort of a power play because your investors are your passive business partners in most cases, and if they start being active and you are the founder of any business, you have to put your foot down. That's when you have to be a jerk. But being a jerk 24/7 doesn't help you with an investor. Sometimes they might want to pull the plug with their money. That doesn't help you. You have to play nice. So being a jerk to your investor doesn't help. There are cases in the past where you've screwed your investor or people have screwed their investors and it has worked out for them. And there are situations in the past where they've tried to do the same and things haven't ended up quite so well for them. So you have to be very nice to them. And investors also mean, in many cases, banks. Can you be a jerk to a bank? Because they'll make your life hell. So can you be a jerk to your bank or an investor? I don't suggest that you become a jerk to your bank or any kind of investor. That just brings up bad blood, and since they're your business partners, you always want to have a healthy relationship with them. Understand? So you can't be a jerk to your investor. So bottom line is, you can't be a jerk to your customer, you can't be a jerk to your investor. Now we get into the gray area. Who can we be a jerk to? Well, the best place to be a jerk or an asshat or an asshole or a prick or a twit is to the competitors. Now you can't be going around and becoming an asshat and destroying their properties. That's illegal. You can't be doing that. What I'm suggesting is power play them. You make sure that you're an asshat in terms of branding. You're aggressive. That's a sort of being a jerk. They hate the guts of your business acumen, but they love you. They must hate your business ideas. They must hate your business attitude, but they must love you. That's the idea of being a jerk. Can't be pissing people off, okay? You can't be doing that. But do you have to? Well, here's the case. Apple. When Apple started, they started hard. Steve Jobs was an asset to everybody. He was an asset to every other company out there, and he condemned any other company that disrupted his image of what the PC, computer world, or the technology world could be. And he took Apple to new heights. But it's a double-edged sword. When you start roasting other competitors, you be sure you can back it up. And when your own board starts thinking that's not a wise move, you get kicked out. But the story is he got back into Apple in 1997 and everything changed and history as you know it was written. But the fact of the matter is, it's a double-edged sword. Can't be always saying, I'm going to run my competitors to the ground and not back it up. Walk the walk and talk the talk. That's the idea if you want to be a jerk, if you want to be an asset to your competitor. Same goes for Bill Gates. When Bill Gates decided to roast every open source computers out there back in the 90s, you know what happened? People hated that guy. People protested against his antitrust policies, and guess where that got him? That got him in the ear of the Washington. That got him in the ear of the ruling class, and what they did was pretty bad for him. And after that, he got a bad taste in his mouth. But then he started investing a lot of money in cajoling people. So he started playing nice. Okay? So see the difference? If you are a asshole or jerk to competitors, at some point you gotta play the social game. And when you gotta play the social game, you can't be an asset even to your competitors. You gotta maintain the facade. That's the whole point. You can't be an asshole outright. That's the lesson from this podcast. Now, the fourth human fact that you have to consider when you are trying to be a jerk in your business and you're trying to succeed is your employees. Well, can you be a jerk to your employees? Yes, you can. I've seen that happen. And can you succeed? I've seen a lot of that. In retail, people are shit to their employees. I've worked retail and I know they treat your employees with a lot of disdain. They think you're in indentured servitude. That's not true, okay? They're never in your indentured servitude. These are your employees. You pay for their service. So, being nice, playing nice, and paying them nice is good. But then that comes at a cost. The cost of profit. And when you are costing yourself with money, with your profit, you think, oh, I can be an asshole. I can be a jerk to my employees and then get away with it. But then think about this. Happy family, wealthy family, healthy family. If your business is a family to you, then you can succeed. But then I'm going to give you an example. The WWE, it's a business after all, started to cut down on their employees post-corona crisis. And you know why they did that? They wanted to maintain the same profit levels as they did before the corona crisis. So they let go of 40%, more than 40% of their employees. That includes professional entertainers or superstars or wrestler, whatever you call them, and in-house talent. They even let go of their vice president, the highest level executive. They even let go of those people to maintain profits. You know why that is? Because they wanted to be a jerk to their employees. You know what they do to the professional wrestlers? They are independent contractors. They are not employees of the WWE. They're independent contractors. So, you can be a jerk and succeed like the WWE. That's possible. You can be a jerk and succeed like Steve Jobs back in the 1980s. So, that is entirely possible to be a jerk to your employees and succeed. But you know what happens? It always bites you in the ass. That's what happened to Vince McMahon recently. He got sued by his own company members. And that's what happened to Steve Jobs back in the 1980s. So you have to understand, you don't have to be a jerk. Now, after these four human components, you have to think about your branding. If you are a jerk, and if you have that idea of being a jerk, it's necessarily not going to help your business. But if you're only thinking of profit margins, it sure is. If you're not going to play nice, it's going to help you. If you don't have any morality, if you don't have any moral center, it's going to help you. If you adulterate your food, if you're in the food business, if you adulterate your service, if you're in the service business, if you adulterate your habits, if you're in the habit making business, if you adulterate any amount of thing to be important, and if you want to create that business, then you have to be a jerk. Asshole. Be an asshole. People who keep barking, you want to earn money, just earn money. Don't take my advice for it. If that's your personality, go for it. But if you're suppressing your personality and you're playing fake, it's not going to help you. Find that right balance, you know. Everybody is not bad. You're not bad inherently. Everybody learns these tips and tricks because they've been treated bad. So if you want to be an asshole, be an asshole. But be a fair asshole. Being a fair asshole means you talk better, but then you maintain the right moral grounds based on your personality. So do you have to be an asshole to succeed in business? Hell yeah. But do you have to be a righteous asshole? Hell yeah. Do you have to be a morally bankrupt asshole? I don't think so. Can't be a bankrupt asshole. If you're a morally bankrupt asshole, that's gonna bite you in the ass. And that's today's podcast. If you want to listen to the audio-only podcast, just follow us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else where you get your podcast. And as always keep playing hard. And if you want to succeed in business, do always what's right for your business and always maintain a good relationship with everyone in your vicinity. You never know when you need somebody's help. And if you're an asshole to everybody or somebody, there might be a wrong day when you get pissed off, you might say something wrong, and then that might bite you in the ass. And as always, remember, it's not who you're pitching to, it's where you're pitching. Thank you.